going to talk about the oscillator on the Arturia MatrixBrute. You might recognize this oscillator. It is the same type of oscillator found in Arturia products like the MiniBrute and the MicroBrute. Let's start off with the tuning. You'll notice that there is a coarse and a fine tune. The coarse tune has 2 octaves in each direction. Let's hear. You're going to be hearing the Sawtooth. I have this set to play. So that's basically a range of 4 octaves, and if you need more, you can obviously use the octave control down here, which overarchingly controls the octaves of all oscillators. So we have quite a range down to the clicks or up to about that frequency. And then, of course, you can adjust down here right out of range of hearing, or the range of my hearing anyway. One of the cool things about this coarse knob is you might notice that there is a little light there at the top, which is awesome because that is telling you where the octaves are. Watch. So you have kind of a roadmap as to where you are with that little light. So if you need to do octave tunings on the fly, that's really helpful. You may have also noticed that the frequencies are quantized to the scale. So there is pitch stepping going on there, but it is in the standard Western scale. And you might say, well, what if I want something that's not in the standard Western scale? Then, of course, you have fine tune, which I believe goes a half step in either direction. So if these are making whole steps, you have the ability to adjust into half steps and pretty much create any frequency that you want within the frequency range of the coarse setting. So that's good. So you have a wide range. Okay, we're going to head over here. Of course, we've been listening to the Sawtooth wave. I don't know if it's just me, but I find this Sawtooth wave to be quite pleasing. You can control the volume of the Sawtooth wave with the volume knob of it. Also, as is traditional with Arturia oscillators, we have the ability to add certain effects to the waveforms to expand their functionality and sound. In the case of the Sawtooth wave, we have the ultrasaw, which does an effect like this. It sort of creates a chorusing effect as if another oscillator was added. Very pleasing effect. Was super awesome in the MicroBrute when you only had one oscillator and you wanted, a full rich sound. You could kick in that ultrasaw and all of a sudden it sounded like you were playing a 2 oscillator synthesizer. So that was awesome with the limitations of the MicroBrute, but with the MatrixBrute, it just expands your capability because, of course, you have another oscillator that you can do the same thing to, making a really, really big sound. Okay, let's listen to the square wave. Very traditional square wavy sounding square wave. With a giant low end. And of course, with the square wave, we have the ability to adjust the pulse width. And as is the case with some pulse width settings, we have the ability to, I'm not sure if we're creating a pulse width of 100% or a pulse width of 0%. I'm going to guess 100% there, which means that your pulse width is too narrow to create a tone, which you can use to your benefit. You can use as a volume control. You can use it in a lot of different ways, especially when you get into modulation. And of course, these effects can be modulated in the matrix section, which we'll talk about in the matrix section. And of course, we have the triangle wave. I think it sounds, it's just a very nice and warm sound. With the triangle wave, we have the metallizer, which is, to my understanding, a wave folder, which basically folds part of the waveform into the opposite direction to create new timbres. In this case, it makes it kind of metal. You can find little areas within the throw of this knob, within the range of the knob, where different timbres occur. And they are kind of all metallic. And to be honest, it's kind of a non-analog sound. This is not a sound we immediately associate with the traditional waveforms found in an analog synthesizer, which is a great bonus because it actually has kind of a character that reminds us of more digital sounds, which means that the functionality of this synth allows you to go beyond traditional just analog sounds. Some really cool harmonic things happening in there. So with each of these waveforms individually, you have a wide breadth of possibility as far as timbre, and that is really beneficial. And let's remember from both the Mini Brute and the Micro Brute that not only do we have these individual wave shapes with their unique timbral alterations, we also can bring them all together. If you're wondering why I'm just randomly turning the knobs over and over again, is I want to show you that the waveforms you can generate with this oscillator are extremely varied, way more than if you just had, like, for example, a sawtooth and a square that you could mix the volumes of. We not only have the ability to mix the volumes of 3 different oscillator shapes, 3 different waveforms, but also with these unique timbral applications, you can create a huge breadth of timbre with this functionality. And that's only in one oscillator. We have another oscillator that we can do the same thing with. So you can imagine right away the level of waveform complexity you're able to create with this synthesizer. So that is one oscillator on the Arturia MatrixBrute.